Hello everyone, this is Ryan with Parsec Education, and I'm here to do a brief overview of Parsec Analytics Standard. And Standard is the dashboards that we have built using publicly available research file data that the state's provided. And there's really two reasons that we built these dashboards. The first one is very simple. The first reason is function, to bring visual function to data that's released by the state in a .txt or .csv format. So taking the barrier of entry, like I'm an Excel expert in order to do something with this, to I can click and maneuver my way through using visual cues. The second reason that we built these is context. So oftentimes when we're looking at data for a district or a school or even the county, what we're looking at is our local context. We're looking at similar, or the state, or by proximity. And we all know that the state and us are not built the same way. The district and the school are not built the same way as the state. And schools and systems that are local aren't necessarily the same either. If you look at Fresno and Clovis here, where we're at, two very different populations, even though they're right next to each other. So context is important. What does that look like? Well, we're here in the California School Dashboard Enhanced. I'm going to go full screen. And you'll see that if I selected a district, Black Oak Mine Unified, which is a district in El Dorado County, and now we've got context for them looking at the county as a whole and the state as a whole, and we'll go further than that in a second. So what this is doing is this is looking at, you'll see the dark blue in this key is the agency I've selected. Right now we've got it on district level, so we've got a district selected. We can also go down to the school. And this is where you'll find charter schools. And then the dark gray is the county aggregate that we've created on Parsec's side. There's a few things in here that we have created that are exclusively us. The county aggregates is one of them. The equity analysis is another one of them. We're looking at your blue-green percentage, the percentage of your indicators that are blue-green versus the number of indicators you have. So we're looking at if we're moving all students into the high-performing category. But in this case, we're giving you context against your county and the state. Where context also plays a role is when we're looking at how do we improve things. That's that second reason we built this. Context, it's about network improvement. I want to improve along similar school systems. So if I come to this ranking tool, which the ranking is part of all of the publicly available research file dashboards, all the dashboards in Parsec Analytics Standard. And instead of having Black Oak selected, I'm going to open up all to all districts in the state. We're just going to look for the student group, all students. We're going to stay with ELA. And I'm going to look for a school system that's between 1,000 and 2,500, let's say, in enrollment. And then I'm going to look for a school system with a socioeconomically disadvantaged percentage between 40% and 60%. I'm not going to mess with the English learner percentage or students with disabilities at this time. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to district type, and I'm just going to look for unified school districts, right? And so within these parameters, you only have 10 districts in the state that are similar, but they're a lot more similar to you than someone who's just nearby. And they're a lot more similar to you than the state. And so why do we do this? Well, it's not so that I can go, hey, so-and-so is doing better than me, or so-and-so is doing worse than me, or however you want to look at that. It's for network improvement. If I'm Black Oak Mine Unified and I'm at negative 30 points below standard, I might look at Durham Unified and look at John Bohannon and say, there's his email. I'm going to reach out to John Bohannon and I'm going to ask if they're doing something that I can use to improve outcomes for my students. So I'm no longer improving outcomes in a vacuum. And so that ranking, that ability to see that ability to narrow context and look at similar schools across the state, similar districts across the state, allows us to better reach out of our local context for improvement. So there's lots of other data sources in here that we could look at, lots of other viewpoints, but that's the basic functionality. Would love to go into a deeper dive with you on another occasion. If you have any questions, feel free to let us know. I'm Ryan at parseceducation.com. Have a great day.